Already said, I'm Miss Van Eck. I will be presenting the inventory class tonight. There's a hand. Jordan, you can unmute. Okay, it was probably a mistake. Okay. Okay, I just want to share my screen with you so that you can see my slides. Good evening, everyone. I apologize. My computer shut down for some or other reason. It gave an error message. I apologize sincerely. You guys probably wondered what's going on now, but it's actually, yeah, it restarted and I'm in again. Apologies for that now. We are starting now a bit later than planned. I assume the recording didn't stop. Yes, no, it still went on. Okay, let me just quickly share my screen that we can continue with the class. Let's hope the computer doesn't go off again. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Oh, thank you so much. Okay, now we are going to do now, like I said, the inventory systems tonight. Now, in each learning unit, you will find at the beginning of a learning unit the learning outcomes. Now, learning unit 3 um, contains four different topics. You will have your inventory, your depreciation, your VAT, and your bank reconciliation. Now, each of those topics will have in the beginning a learning outcome. This is what you need to know after you studied this learning unit. Okay? You guys can just go through it. I'm going to continue so that we can make up some time. Then, overview of the concept inventory. In most cases, inventory is the largest current asset of a trading entity. It's important that a trading entity can at all times meet demand for each different types of merchandise. Trading entities, entities that buy and sell goods, keep inventory on hand that's your unsold goods, to supply their customers with different types of goods. Additional purchases are made to replace the sold inventory. I think
Yeah.
that,
Mm.
please
Wala
mute,
pala akong
guys.
mute.
Okay, I'm quickly muting. Okay, everyone. So this, I think, is a logical overview that it will make sense to you if you read through this. Okay, the next slide is regarding the inventory cycle. Okay, so it's from the time the transaction takes place until its inclusion in financial statements. Okay, now the process can be illustrated as follows. Now, first you purchase goods or inventory at cost price. This is very important. So remember, when you purchase something, it's at cost price. Now you have the inventory. Now you are going to put your markup percentage on. Let's say it's 15%. That will be your gross profit. And then you will only have the price that you are selling your inventory for. Okay, but we will get to that. First, your inventory purchased for cash. Okay, now when you purchase inventory for cash, it means when it's cash, I always refer to my bank account. Now, when you purchase, it means that cash is flowing out of the bank because you are paying something. So this means your bank account, which is an asset account, which you guys should know by now, and it will decrease on the credit side. Now your inventory you purchased. So your inventory account, which is also an asset account, will increase on the debit side. Now, when you have inventory that you purchased on credit, you will still increase your inventory account because you still purchased inventory only now on credit. So your inventory account will again be debited since it's an asset account. But now we have it now it took place. You didn't purchase it for cash. It was, oh, apologies. Sorry. It was on credit. Now, when it's on credit, we already know the bank account's not applicable. Either the trade and other receivables account, which is your debtors account, or your trade or other payables account, which is your creditors account, will be applicable. Well, now we have purchases. So we the entity, purchased on credit from another client or an entity. So we owe money to them. So this means, let me just mute again, everyone. Okay. This means that you will have your trade and other payables account, which is a liability account, which will increase now because your debt are increasing. So it will increase on your credit side. Now we have inventory is held by the business until it is sold. The next step is sale of goods at selling price. That was what I said at the beginning. When you purchase goods, it's at cost. But now you have these goods, you want to sell it. But in order to sell it, you probably want to make profit, don't you agree? So of course, you can have, you can add your gross profit percentage, which is let's say 15% or 10%, and then you will have your selling price, the price that you are selling your inventory or goods for. Now, goods sold on credit. So now again, it's on credit, but this time we are selling goods. Okay. Now, again, your goods or inventory is the same account. oh no, in this case, apologies, the inventory account or goods account, which you are selling, means that this account will decrease. Now, your goods or inventory account is an asset, and when an asset is sold, it means it will decrease. So, it will decrease on the credit side. But now you sold on credit. This means that this time an entity or a client owes you money. So in that case, it means that the trade and other receivables account, your debtors account, will be applicable. Now the the trade and other receivables account or your debtors account is an asset account. And now, since they are owing us money, it means that their debt will increase on the debit side of the account. Now we are selling goods for cash. So now again, your goods or inventory account will again decrease because remember now, you are still selling the inventory or the goods. Now, in that case, again, inventory or goods is a purchases account, which will decrease on the credit side. And then when cash is applicable, you will know the bank account is applicable. Okay. So now it means you sold something for cash, so your bank account will increase. And your bank account is an asset, and an asset will increase on your debit side. Then, like I mentioned before, this will hopefully make more sense. The business has made a profit on the transaction. If you take the selling price, this is this one, minus your cost price, which is when you purchased your inventory, equals your profit. That is your 10 or 15% that I gave as an example. Okay, your inventory systems. There are two inventory systems that the trading entity can use. You have your periodic inventory system and your perpetual inventory system. It's very important if you read a question that you distinguish whether the periodic or perpetual inventory system is used. Okay, recording of inventory for the periodic inventory system. Under the periodic inventory system, the purchases of inventory is not recorded in your inventory account. A separate account known as your purchases account is used to record these purchases. Under the periodic inventory system still, the sales of inventory are not recorded in the inventory account. A separate account, namely the sales account, is used to record these sales. Still under the periodic inventory system, cost of sales is not determined at the time of the recording of the sale. The cost of sales can only be determined at the end of the financial period after a physical inventory count has been made. So basically, when it's the periodic inventory system, you just have to make a note, a mental note, and know. Okay, your inventory account is not applicable. You use either sales or the purchases account, and that cost of sales will not be recorded. It will only be brought into consideration, including your inventory account, after a stock take, or like they say, a physical inventory count. Thereafter, we will bring those accounts in. Recording of inventory for the perpetual inventory system. Under the perpetual inventory system, purchases of inventory is recorded in your inventory account. So now, when you have the perpetual inventory system, you forget about purchases, you use your inventory account. Still under the perpetual inventory system, the sales of inventory are recorded in the sales account. So you are still using the sales account. However, we will now bring in the inventory and the cost of sales accounts. Under still the perpetual inventory system, the cost of sales is determined at the time of the recording of the sale. So each time you sell something, the cost of sales will be determined. It's not like with the periodic inventory system where we do not take it into account. The cost of sales must be determined when the sale occurs. Okay. I please if this is too small for you, you will see let me just go back to my main screen. Mm, okay. You will see at the bottom left hand corner my initials and surname if I'm correct. There will be a little plus and a minus sign. So you can increase the view that you can see currently, your screen. You will be able to increase and decrease. So I hope that helps everyone. Okay, now we're going to look at the difference between the periodic inventory system and the perpetual inventory system. This is now further um, difference between the two. Now, your periodic inventory system does not keep continuous, up-to-date records of the inventory on hand. Since remember, you do not record your cost of sales when you sell something, and also you don't record purchases in the inventory account. Now, many small businesses use the periodic inventory system of inventory. Now we're going to look at the perpetual inventory system. Perpetual means continuous. This is a system where a business keeps continuous, moment to moment records of the number, value, and type of inventories that it has at the business. Okay, so this makes sense since we do record in the inventory account when purchases occurs, and also we take cost of sales and the inventory account into consideration when we are selling goods or inventory. Now, under the periodic inventory system, the entity will only have accurate records periodically. So that's at a certain point in time, usually at the end of the financial year. Okay? A for the perpetual inventory system, a computerized accounting system where each item of inventory is linked to the electronic accounting records creates a perpetual system. Okay. And then under periodic again, the records will be accurate once the journal entries are processed to account the values of the inventory stock take. Okay, we have spoken about that. Now under your perpetual inventory system, products that have barcodes are automatically recorded as having been sold at tills in a supermarket when they are swiped. Inventory levels are automatically decreased as soon as the invoice has been entered and completed at the till. Okay? Now here is also very important. This is the markup on cost that I referred to. Now your cost of sales is the cost of goods sold over a period. The markup percentage is the gross profit percentage of the cost price. Okay? So your cost price plus your markup on cost will give you your selling price. Okay, this is a schematic illustration that is also in your learning unit that you can take a look at. Now, this is basically just regarding the periodic inventory system, and it shows you how the accounts is being recorded when it's cash and credit. But this recording here is summarized very nicely in the following summary, which I'm rather going to refer to. Now, step 1, purchase of inventory for cash. Now, remember, you are focusing now on the periodic inventory system. That means you forget about inventory. You use either the purchases or sales accounts, and cost of sales will not be recorded or any inventory under the inventory account. Okay, so first what happened? We purchased inventory for cash. Now your purchases account, which is an expense account, will increase on the debit side because purchases occurred. Now remember, this was for cash. So this means your bank account is applicable. So you purchased for cash, so there was an outflow of money. So it means your bank account, which is an asset account, decreases on the credit side. Now the transaction is recorded in the cash payments journal at cost price. So this is the only thing you need to take note of. It's at cost price. These journals that we are going to refer to here, you can just take note of. You will deal more with it in Learning Unit 4 and 5. Now, purchase of inventory on credit. Okay, so purchases will be just as above. Remember, you still purchased inventory, meaning that your purchases account will increase. Your purchases is an expense. Apologies. Your purchases is an expense. So it will increase on your debit side. But this time it's on credit. Now, like I say, if credit is involved, the bank will not be applicable. It will either be trade and other receivables, namely your debtors, or trade and other payables, namely your creditors. Okay, so in this case, we purchased on credit. So we owe money to a client or an entity where we bought inventory from. So that will mean it's the trade and other payables account that's applicable. So now, remember, the trade and other payables account is a liability because it's debt. You are increasing your debt. And the liability account increases on the credit side and decreases on your debit side. In this case, we are going to increase it. This transaction is recorded at cost price. Remember, because it's purchases. Okay? Now we're getting to the sale of merchandise, which is the same as inventory for cash. Okay. So cash, I immediately think about the bank account. So when sales happened and it was a cash sale, it means that your bank account will have an inflow of money. So your bank account, which is an asset account, will increase on the debit side. Now you have a sale of merchandise. This means that your sales account, remember we are not referring to the inventory account since it's the periodic inventory system. So your sales account which is an income account, will increase on the credit side. And it will also increase the equity account under the basic accounting equation. Now, this transaction is recorded at selling price because you are selling merchandise. Now, step 4, your sale of merchandise or inventory on credit. Now, on credit, we know bank is not applicable. It's either trade and other receivables or trade and other payables, which is your creditors. In this case, we sold on credit. So, this means that a client or entity bought on credit from us. In that case, it means that they will owe us money and that the trade and other receivables account will be applicable. Now, the trade and other receivables account is an asset account, which will now increase on your debit side since debt occurred. Now, your sales account, the same will happen to your sales account when you purchased merchandise for cash. Your sales will still increase on your credit side since sales occurred. Okay. Now, here's an example we are going to look at. Now, I'm not going to read now through each transaction. We are going to deal with it as we go through it. Okay. Just a note, an account is a summary record of all transactions relating to a particular item in an entity. In conventional accounting in books, the account has the format of a letter T and is therefore called a T account, which I'm sure you guys know by now. The following is the T accounts to record the above transactions that looks as follows. Okay. Now, let's look at the transaction. Now, I'm going to launch some polls for you that you can tell me which account, what account will be debited. And then please, if you can participate, I would really appreciate it. It will give me an indication of the knowledge and what you understand currently and what not. Okay. Let's just read the transaction. Inventory. Okay, remember first of all, it's the periodic inventory system. So it means sales and purchases accounts is applicable. The inventory account and cost of sales is not applicable. So, inventory of 10,000 Rand was purchased by the business on 30 April for cash. Now, so purchases and cash is applicable and you purchased it for 10,000 Rand. Now, the poll 1 is which account will be debited? Let my polls are almost there. They are just in the background. Okay. It's loading. Okay, can you guys see it? Okay. Okay, something didn't.
Excuse me.
Yes, yes.
Just on the poll that you have,
Mm.
the tick and the X, what are they representing, the credit or the debit? I'm just a bit
Oh,
confused.
no, sorry. This is the first poll that shouldn't have showed.
Oh, because I see the
Apologies.
people are clicking and they don't even know what they're clicking.
Oh my gosh, no, please wait. That's not supposed to happen. Let me first, I'm at the first one. Thank you for notifying me.
It's a pleasure.
Let me launch it. So the question is, which account will be debited if you look at this transaction, okay? Okay, it's loading. Let's hope yes. So remember, look at the transaction on the slides. Which account will be debited? I think I already gave away which accounts will be applicable, but think about money in, money outflow, and remember it's periodic, so no inventory account is applicable. Okay, it, I don't see someone that have answered the poll so far. Let me just see the results. Okay, wait. Okay. Sure. It's very close. Ah, okay, I'll give you guys another few seconds. Let's see how many of you can answer. There are 300 students about in this class. Let's try and see if everyone can participate. Okay, let me just see. There's a chat. Okay.
Hi, ma'am. Sorry.
Yes.
Excuse me. On my end, it's showing when I try to submit my vote, it
Mm.
shows that my bot has been disabled and it says we need to contact IT.
Oh my gosh. Now that means that must be a problem then. Either on this, no, it won't. It will be, there will be more than one person who has this problem.
Hello,
I
Miss Van
want,
Niekerk.
yes.
A few
In
of
the
us,
previous class, we were advised that the people that are unable to put in their responses,
Oh,
it's because they are not registered with they're not using the account of the student number.
yes, that's correct. Thank you for reminding me. Apologies about that. I forgot about it. You guys, if you joined using your My Life email address, as we called as we call it, verified addresses, then you will be able to submit and answer this poll. Unfortunately, if you did not join with your My Life email account, you will be shown as unverified and can unfortunately not answer the poll, but you can still participate by writing the answer down on a piece of paper and then seeing how you did. Okay, it's around 50-50, yo, between bank and purchases. You see, I told you guys that those are the two accounts basically that are going to be applicable, and now everyone is confused. They don't know which one. Now let's think about it. Which account will be debited? Now, if you purchase something for cash, what's going to happen to your bank account? Your bank account is going to decrease, okay? And your purchase account will increase. So here we recorded the transaction, the 30th of April, bank. I just put here additional information so that we can keep track of what happened. This was cash purchases. And we entered the amount. So this is your T account that we referred to previously. you will see because purchases is an expense account increases on the debit side and it decreases on the credit side. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So remember, you purchase something. So purchases occurred, which is an expense. So unfortunately, I just want to say this. I can unfortunately not say or tell you why it's debit this side and credit this side. Why expenses increase on the debit side, decrease on the credit side. That is like telling you why left is left and right is right. We don't know. So unfortunately, you need to learn this. You need to learn the basic principles and you need to know when an account increases and decreases. And also, you need to know what type of accounts you get and as what are they classified? Expenses, income, assets, liabilities, and so forth. Okay, let's see if I can find my other poll. Yes. Now I'm asking you which account will be credited. I think I already gave the answer, but let's see. Oh, you see, it gives me again this tick and cross. I don't know why, but let's see. Yeah, here it shows launch. Let me launch it. Okay, let's see. So which account will be credited if you read the transaction on the slides? We already have the purchases account, so that's not applicable anymore. It's the periodic inventory system, so you know now inventory is not used. So I'm giving you now too many tips here. So let's see. Have you guys answered so far? Let me see. I'm also participating. Ah, it looks good. It looks good. Wow, okay. I think some of you are now understanding this. Okay, let's continue just to make up some time. Okay, the responses looks very good. Those of you who said bank is going to be credited, you are correct. So here you will see your bank account, which is an asset. It increases on your debit side. It decreases on your credit side. Now your bank account will be credited. Then just a note for in case you are wondering. We use oh my gosh, no, I mustn't or say this. I'm going to give the answers away. But I have to. Okay. We use usually the other account's name as a description of the account that was applicable. So as to make it easy for us as a reference basically. So when we open our purchases account, the T account, and we look here, we will know, okay, the bank account was applicable. The same with the bank account. We will see that purchases happened or occurred rather, of 10,000 Rand. So that's why we use the opposite account's name. Okay, next. Okay, now let me first say this. Here we showed you how the transactions will be recorded in a T account, or actually the formal name for this is your general ledger. But like I said, you'll learn more about that in learning unit 4 and 5. Now we're going to look at how this will be recorded in a journal entry. Okay. It's exactly the same transaction. It's basically this that we did here that we are just going to record in a journal. So, purchases expense, the amount was debited. Let's look. Purchases, here it is. The amount was debited. Your bank was credited. So, we have a little indent here, and then we write bank. We also now remember I just wrote additional notes in brackets to help you. So because you have an indent and you then write bank, it helps us to distinguish which one is debited and credited. Yes, you can see it in the columns where the amounts are, but also for us to see it in the descriptions of the types of accounts. Then here we give you a little narration where we just say what happened. Purchased inventory for cash. Okay, so it's straightforward. It's basically, we could have done this first and then the T accounts. So just to show you how it looks. Now, this transaction, the second transaction, let me find my poll. Okay, I found it. Now, first of all, remember we are doing the periodic inventory system. It means the inventory account is not used. It's either the purchases or sales account. Cost of sales is not recorded when sales takes place. Now, inventory of 15,000 Rand was purchased by the business on the 31st of May on credit. So credit, bank accounts not applicable. We only know about two accounts, trade and other receivables, which is your debtors, trade and other payables, which is your creditors. Okay, and then we have purchases of 15,000 Rand. Now, which account will be debited? Okay. Going to launch another poll. You see, I think I'm giving the answer away each time, but let's see. Which account will be debited? Oh, it looks very good. It looks very promising. You all can now maybe try. If you're not sure, still take a guess or anything. We can have more responses. Almost. Please mute, guys. Okay. It doesn't look like everyone wants to participate, but that's fine. Like I said, as long as you write it down on a piece of paper for yourself if you're unsure and don't want to participate. Okay, the account that will be debited is your purchases account. Now, please take note. This was the transaction which we already recorded. If you remember at the first transaction. Now the new transaction is recorded here, and that's why I showed it in a different green color so that you can see that it's a new transaction. And remember, we are adding it in the same account so that when we go to the purchases account, every little entry can be shown in the purchases account on the debit side and every entry on the credit side. Okay, so well done to those of you who selected purchases. So now, if you listened carefully previously, you will already know the next answer to the next poll. Okay, let me launch it. Oh, sorry, there's a hand up. You can go on. You can ask your question. Okay, maybe it was just an error. Okay, I have the poll. I hope everyone can see it. Those who use their My Life email accounts at least. Unfortunately, those who joined late, if you haven't joined using your My Life account, you will be shown as unverified and will unfortunately not be able to participate in this polls. But you can still write it down on a piece of paper and then still see if your answer was correct. Okay, I think you guys are getting the picture. It looks very promising, but more of you can participate, please. Let's see if at least 200 can participate. Okay, unfortunately, for the sake of time, I have to continue. Okay, so those of you who said trade and other payables, you are correct. Why trade and other payables? Because you purchased on credit. So this means you owe money to an entity or a client from which you purchased on credit. So you didn't pay them immediately when you purchased the inventory. You still owe this money. So this is a liability for you. So your credit will increase in the trade and other payables account, which is a liability. Please take note, the liability increases on the credit side and it decreases on the debit side. But now, since trade and other payables increase because you increase now your debt, it will be credited. Okay, the next is again the journal entry, which is like I said, just to show you how it will look. Now, again, your purchases account was debited. So we write purchases, which is an expense, and the amount in the debit column. Yes, I know we can see and distinguish between debit and credit, but when an account is credited, we prefer that you put an indent here and then write the account that is credited. Okay, and now we know account that is credited was your trade and other payables. Oh my gosh, apologies. Yeah, here it is. Trade and other payables was credited. And again, just a narration at the bottom, purchase inventory on credit. Now the third transaction. Inventory of 22,000 Rand was sold. We are now done with purchases. Was sold by the business on the 30th of June for cash. That's the golden word, cash. Okay, like I said, when cash is applicable, your bank account will be applicable. The question is just now, did you receive money? Was there inflow of cash or money or an outflow? And then remember, since it's the periodic inventory system, we do not use the inventory account. We use the sales or purchases account. Okay. Now poll number 5, which account will be debited? I'm launching the poll. Okay, let's see how many of you will participate now. Oh, wonderful. The responses look very good. Guys, I noticed in the chat someone posted a video from YouTube. Now, do you think this is appropriate? I don't think so.
Um, just to, I would just like to mention something, guys. If you can, please click the polls. That's why the polls are there instead of typing bank, bank, bank. It's obviously much easier to just do the polls because it is quite a disturbance with the sound going off the entire time.
Do you hear a sound from your side? Baron?
Isn't
Yes.
this for all the people that did not log in with the my
Oh,
UNISA emails?
apologies. Apologies.
Okay.
Did you log in with your My Life account?
Yes, I changed it early on.
Oh, so no, then it shouldn't be like that. You can't participate now,
No,
can
I
you?
am able to. No, I am able to. I wasn't
But
logged on
but
earlier.
does it make a sound on your side?
No, just when the messages are coming in the entire time. That's why it's
Oh, from
obviously
the chat.
yeah. But it's
I
okay if
wonder.
I understand.
Yeah, no, but apologies for that. But I wonder if that isn't based on settings, because I know from my side when I scheduled the meeting, I could mute, that I don't hear if people leave or join the class. Someone now said you can mute that chat. Okay, can you maybe share where one should go to mute the chat? That would be helpful, I think. Okay. Let me just go back to the results. Okay. Which account will be credited? No. Okay. Okay, the responses do look good, but I expected a bit more participation. But yes, I actually gave away the answer by saying that your bank account will be applicable because you have cash. Now there will be an inflow of money because you sold inventory. And an inflow means an increase in your assets with your bank account, that is an asset, and it will increase on your debit side. Okay. Now, let's see the next one. Let's hope more of you participate. Okay, now looking at this transaction again, taken into account, it's the periodic inventory system. So again, you don't use your inventory account. You use either purchases or sales when purchases or sales occurs. Okay? So remember, this is a cash transaction. So now we already have the bank account. So you already can exclude the bank account here. Now we have another account that should actually be recorded on the credit side. Now, what account do you think will that be? Let's see. Wow, wonderful. Congratulations, everyone. Wow, I'm very impressed. Sales, you are 100% correct. Yes, your sales account, which is also referred to as your revenue account, and it is an income account, increases on your credit side and it decreases on your debit side. I will take the hand. Oh, it's gone. On your debit side. Okay. And again, like I said, you use the description of the other account as a reference, basically. Okay, and then I made a note at the bottom just to remind you, cost of sales is not applicable when the periodic inventory is used. Okay, here we show you again how this transaction will look like in the journal. Okay, so we can go back. The bank account was debited with 22,000 Rand. So if we go back, we say bank. Like I said, I just gave you a bit more information. So bank was debited with 22,000 Rand. If we go back, your sales account was credited with 22,000 Rand. So we put an indent just to show that it's on the credit side. So the sales account was credited with 22,000 Rand.
Sorry,
Uh,
ma'am.
yes,
Uh, since sales is credited on the income account, it's an equity.
yes, that's also correct.
Oh,
But yeah, you're actually thinking now further. Yes, remember I with the basic accounting equation that you guys already did, your sales account will be classified under your equity account. That is 100% correct.
thank
But
you very much,
remember,
ma'am.
oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you for that. That's also a very good question or statement to make. So basically, remember now, we are looking now just at the individual account, like sales and bank and so forth. But under equity, yes, under equity, sales will also increase. That's 100% correct. Okay, and then we just say sell inventory for cash. And then I just put in again the same note. Cost of sales is not applicable when the periodic inventory is used. Now the fourth transaction. Inventory of 26,000 Rand was sold by the business on the 31st of October on credit. So now we see credit, no bank account. We know about two other accounts, trade and other receivables, which is your debtors, and trade and other payables, which is your creditors. Okay, the question is which one will be used? And remember, it's the periodic inventory system. Once again, the inventory account will not be used. We will use the purchases or sales account. So now let me launch the next poll. Okay, it's loading. Does I? Which account will be debited? So if you look at the transaction of 26,000 Rand of inventory was sold on credit, then please select which option will be the account debited. Okay. Okay, it looks very promising. Give another second or two. Okay. Let's continue. If you said the trade and other receivables account, you are 100% correct. Congratulations. Okay. So trade and other receivables is like your debtors account. It's an asset account. So that means it increases on the debit side. So when you sold the inventory on credit, it means that this client or entity that purchased from you on credit didn't pay you anything. They still owe you that money. So the debt increases, their debt increases. Not yours, the client or the entity that purchased from, that purchased from you if you look at it from another point. Now let's see which account will be credited. I promise you the polls will stop. You won't be going on with this the whole time. Okay, which account will be credited? We already know trade and other receivables is not applicable. So which account is left? Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Yo, I'm very impressed. Okay. Yes, Emmanuel. You can unmute. Okay, the response looks very, very good. If you said the sales account, then you are 100% correct. Okay, please remember that the third transaction, we already recorded here bank cash sales. Like I said, I just give more information in brackets so that we can distinguish what happened. So we already recorded this. We are now only recording the new transaction that we are adding to the same account. So yes, your sales account, which is income, and like the gentleman said, that falls under your equity account, which will also increase, will be credited. And I again just give a note saying cost of sales is not applicable. Now I show you again how it will look like in your journal entries. Okay. Trade and other pay receivables, apologies, was debited. So trade and other receivables will be shown in the debit column. Trade and other creditors. Oh no, sorry. The sales account was credited. So we'll put an indent so that it will distinguish between which account was debited and which one was credited, which is an income or revenue will be credited. Now, we are going to look at year-end adjustments for the periodic inventory system. Now, in a periodic inventory system, there are no entries made into the accounting records during the financial year for cost of goods sold, which we all already know. At the end of the financial year, when a physical inventory count is performed, the accounts inventory and cost of sales are adjusted. As you know from the first few slides, we already mentioned this, that then only you bring your inventory account and cost of sales account into your books. The entity started the financial year with 20,000 Rand inventory on hand. Now, inventory on hand means it's your opening inventory at the beginning of the year. Okay, so now we have to record this opening inventory. Remember now, we have now an inventory account, okay, because this is inventory that you are recording. So inventory increases, it's an asset account, so it increases on the debit side. Now just make a mental note that the opening balance or the balance of an account is usually on the increasing side of an account. Okay, so since inventory increases on the debit side, the opening balance will be on the debit side. And then you will record the 20,000. Yes, Bridget. You can unmute. Bridget? Okay, maybe it was just an error. Okay, now if we continue, we're still using the periodic inventory system, but this is year-end adjustment. So when you hear that, or if you think about that, you must remember you are now bringing in the inventory and cost of sales account. Yes. Moray, you can unmute. Yes, Bridget, I think you unmuted now.
Oh, yes, something is actually bugging me. Can we just go back a bit with the last example that we did in terms of making a sale on
Oh,
credit? So when
yes,
the
let me
client
go
eventually
back.
pays, yes.
Is it in the
So when the
journal?
client, yes, both the journal and the first one. So now
Okay.
what happens when the client eventually pays? What do we do when they eventually settle the amount that they owe us? What happens to the journal? How do we enter? How do we make entry?
Okay. When they settle it cash, meaning they didn't buy it on credit or you
No,
didn't
when it's on
sell.
credit.
Yes.
So we
So,
sold on credit and
yes.
eventually they settle what they owe us.
When they settle, you will have your trade and other receivables account will be, because it's an asset, it increases on your debit side. You agree?
Mhm.
But once they pay
Yes.
their debt, it will be recorded on the credit side so that it decreases the debt. And then, because you are
Okay.
receiving now money, your bank account will
Mhm.
be debited. Does it make
Okay.
sense?
Understood. Yes.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Now, I'm glad I could answer your question. Okay. I think we were here. Yes, we recorded the opening balance. Okay. They said it was 20,000 Rand. And as I mentioned, we usually record balances on the increasing side. That's now your opening balance. Okay. At the end of the financial year, an inventory account was performed. Remember, we are still with the periodic inventory system and we are doing the year-end adjustments. An inventory at cost price to the value of 40,000 Rand was counted. Therefore, at the end of the financial year, the following adjustments are processed. So again, guys, you will have to learn this for now and then later on, or even while you are learning this, try to make sense of it and think logically about it. Okay? Now, transfer total purchases to the cost of sales account. Now, remember, we first showed the T accounts at the beginning. Now we are showing, and then the journal account. In this case, we are showing you the journal account first, and then thereafter the T accounts. Okay, it's the same. We are just showing you how it looks. Okay, now remember you had purchases. Okay, now they are saying you take your total purchases amount and you transfer it to your cost of sales account. Now, purchases is an asset. Oh, apologies, an expense. Oh my gosh. Purchases is an expense. Okay? Now, when an expense occurs, it increases on the debit side. When purchases is now taken out of the account, it's going to be credited. Okay? And remember, you are taking it to the cost of sales account. And the cost of sales account is also an expense, which will increase on the debit side. Okay? Let's look at the T accounts. It will maybe make more sense. Now, here is the purchases account that we have compiled so far. Here is transaction 1 that we did. Here is the entry of transaction 2 that we did. And then I also say here, refer to slide 14 to look at the transaction 1 and 2. Okay? If you want to go back to make sure you understand this. But basically, it's just what we did now. I'm just showing the total amount that was recorded in the purchases account. Okay. Now they are saying, like I said, you transfer the total purchases, and the total of the purchases so far is 25,000 Rand on your debit side. Okay, so now to take this amount out, you have to credit it against cost of sales. So you credit 25,000 Rand. You have also a balance of 25,000 Rand on your credit side, which means it balances out. So it will have an opening balance of 0. And then we record the purchases in the cost of sales account, which is an expense account, which increases on your debit side. So if you go back, you will see it's the same. Cost of sales was debited. Yeah. And your purchases, your purchases account was credited. Yes, your purchases account. So first we entered the opening balance. Now we go and we follow the steps, transfer total purchases to cost of sales. Now we are looking at another 2 steps. The inventory account reflects an amount of 20,000 Rand. Okay, that was the opening inventory and needs to be adjusted to the inventory account amount of 40,000 Rand, which was your physical inventory count at the end of the year. Yes, you can unmute. Yes. Fine, and you?
I'm good. Can you go back to the slide?
Okay.
One slide back.
This one. Another one back.
Yes. No, this one.
Okay, yes.
Now, before we lose each other here,
Yes.
purchases is an expense.
Yes.
Cost of sales is an expense.
Yes.
And the theory says expenses increase on the debit side.
That's correct.
Now, when you have purchases,
Mm-hmm.
when you've got new purchases, are your purchases increasing or decreasing?
It's increasing because it occurred. Yes, so you are 100% correct. When you have new purchases, you will enter it below the 15,000 Rand on the debit side. Yes, you are 100% correct. The only difference here is that we took the total and we closed it off. We took it to the cost of sales account. Does it make sense? Can you hear me?
Balance of 25,000 for purchases, or was that opening balance for cost of sales?
No, this is going to be the opening balance of cost of sales, the 25,000 Rand. But we're not going to record it as an opening balance because remember now, if you have 25,000 Rand on your debit side and you want to take it out of the account, you put it on the minus, on the side where there's a minus, the credit side. So now you're deducting 25,000 Rand from this account, you're taking it out and you're transferring it to the cost of sales, which increases on your debit side. Does it make sense now?
Yes, it's gonna make sense if we agree that when you teach us is that the a balance is you just need to be very careful how you treat a balance amount. But I don't want to leave the class with the idea that an expense can sometimes increase on the credit side.
Yes, no, I understand that. And also, I wanted to also make or tell you guys that balancing of an account, you will also deal with in Learning Unit 4 and 5. So then it will also make more sense. But here it should be straightforward. You're just taking the 25,000, you're crediting it to get it out of this account, and you're taking it to the cost of sales. Why on the debit side? Because it's an expense that occurred that you are bringing in. So no, don't worry, I understand and thank you for the question. Okay, so we had our opening inventory that we recorded. Now, oh, apologies, we were still going through this. Okay, the inventory account reflects an amount of 20,000 Rand. That was your opening inventory and needs to be adjusted to the inventory count amount of 40,000 Rand. That was your physical count at the end of the year. This is done in 2 steps. Now, still, please remember we are under doing the periodic inventory system and we are doing year-end adjustments. Step 1. The amount of 20,000 Rand, which is your opening inventory, must be cancelled. Okay, so transfer the opening inventory to the cost of sales account. So again, you are taking something to the cost of sales account. So your cost of sales account is an expense which will increase with this 20,000 Rand when it's taken to that account on the debit side. Your inventory account, which had this opening balance on the debit side originally, remember here? Oh, yeah. Remember we had inventory here, cost of sales and inventory. Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong transaction. Opening balance, sorry, here's it. The 20,000 Rand, we are going to record against inventory, which is going to be taken now out of your inventory account. And inventory is an asset, which will decrease on your credit side. So it's just the transfer opening inventory to the cost of sales account. So here we show you again. Originally, we had the opening balance of 20,000 Rand. Now we are taking it to the cost of sales account. We're closing it off. Okay, so you put this 20,000 Rand on your credit side And here was the purchases, if you remember correctly, that we already recorded or took rather to the cost of sales account. Now we are only adding the open inventory as well. Okay, the second step, inventory amount of 40,000 Rand is then added to the account. So that would be your inventory account. So we record the closing inventory when we did the stock take or the physical inventory count and adjust the cost of sales. So now inventory will be, will have a 40,000 Rand balance, and cost of sales will have also a credit amount of 40,000 Rand. So we are recording closing inventory and adjusting cost of sales. So here you will see, as you remember, we had the 20,000 Rand opening inventory, okay, which we took to the cost of sales account. Here you will see the 20,000 Rand. Then we brought now in the 40,000 Rand, because this is now basically your inventory account, the opening balance for the next financial year or period. Okay, so this 40,000 Rand you brought into the inventory account and you recorded it against the cost of sales account at also 40,000 Rand. Now, this is also part of the balancing which I referred to, that you will deal with more in Learning Unit 4 and 5. But this should not be, I hope, a problem, okay? Forget about the yellow amounts that's highlighted yellow for now. Now you had 20,000 Rand plus 40,000 Rand. It adds up to 60,000 Rand. But we took 20,000 Rand off. Okay, I'm going to take your hand now. But we took 20,000 Rand out of this account already, and we allocated it against the cost of sales account. We closed it off. So this means to get the same balance as on your debit side, you will have a closing balance that's carried down of 40,000 Rand. The same happened here. Remember I said ignore the yellow highlighting. You had your purchases account of 25,000 Rand that was closed off to the cost of sales. I just mentioned about the 20,000 Rand, which was closed off against cost of sales. You have a balance of 45,000 Rand. Now we are bringing in your closing inventory at 40,000. Oh my gosh, sorry, 40,000 Rand. So to get the balance the same as on the debit side, you will see that the closing balance is 5,000 Rand in the cost of sales. So your cost of sales account has a balance of 5,000 Rand. Now we are going to look at the highlighted amounts. After the completion of the above entries, the cost of sales at the end of the year is as follows. Now, ignore for now the 5,000 Rand, please. So cost of sales equals your opening inventory, which is this, the 20,000 Rand, here at the top, your opening inventory, plus your purchases, which was this 25,000 Rand that we closed off against the cost of sales. It was your purchases, minus your closing inventory, which is this 40,000 rand. Remember, that's the stock take that they did. They got the the closing balance of the inventory as 40,000 rand. So if you take 20,000 rand plus 25 minus 40,000, you will get also 5,000 rand for your cost of sales, which is the same as the 5,000 rand you got here. Okay, I hope this makes sense. Okay. Please, guys, like I said, if you go through the slides on your own and you remember which account will be debited and credited, and remember you have to unfortunately first learn this before it will make sense, and practice through the questions and examples. And yes, remember, yeah, then it will make more sense later on when you do it. For now, you unfortunately have to, how can I say, in this particular topic where we do year-end adjustments, you need to follow the steps that you have to learn now to make sure that you record the year-end adjustments correctly. Okay, then we are at the perpetual inventory system. Now I just want to see there's something in the chat. Okay, someone is very lost, very lost, very lost. Okay, regarding the Authenticator app, I'm not sure. You can send us, do anyone know regarding the Authenticator app, who the person can contact? Yes? Setsedi? Your hand is raised?
Good evening, ma'am. How are you?
Fine, and you?
I'm good, thank you. With regards to the periodic system, I just wanted to find out the formula for calculating cost of sales at the end of the year. Isn't it supposed to include carriages on purchases and excise duties?
Yes, but you are now too clever for this module. We are not taking it so far. We are just using opening inventory, purchases, closing inventory. But you are 100% correct. But we don't do anything additional. We just use the basics so that that you can just understand at least how cost of sales is calculated. But so we won't use carriage on goods and those returns on sales, returns on purchases, and so forth. So yeah, we're just using the basics, like I said, so that everyone can understand at least, because I can tell you now, 98% of everyone that's registered for this module, and you guys are just between 6 and 7,000 students, have not had accounting until matric, and also did not have any mathematics. So yeah, like I said, you're a few steps in front, which they will only learn if they ever do some of the more difficult modules.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
It's a pleasure. Are there any penalties on how we record the transactions? Yes, there will be. Remember, you have to record it on the correct site and in the correct journal. But please don't worry, you will see how the questions is asked in your first assignment. And you will see that we're not throwing you for the lions, like they say. We are going to assist you. We will give you the layout already. Let's, for example, I don't like this slide. It's too full. Let me go to this slide. We will already give you the T format with date, the rand sign, date, and the rand sign again. We will already give or maybe you would have to give us the heading. Okay, and then we will ask you to maybe record the opening balance and then further on close this off to the cost of sales account. But we will give you options that you can choose from so that you don't have to write it from the start, cost of sales or balance opening. Okay, we will give you options so that there will be a drop down arrow. That's now in one of the types of questions you do get in your assignments. We called it the embedded close questions. So we will, for example, ask you to, let me look at another example. This is a bit too difficult. Yeah, let's look at this example. We can ask you this, we can give you this transaction and ask you to record it in this T account. Now, let's say, for example, we are giving you the heading trade and other receivables, which is an asset. That we won't say, of course, you need to know that. And then your sales account, which is an income, which increases your equity, which we won't, of course, give you. Then we will give you an option here and here. It will have a drop-down arrow where you can choose which option is the correct option that will be recorded on this side and which option on this side will be recorded. Okay, so I hope this gives you a bit of an idea. Yes, you can unmute. Setsedi?
It was a mistake, ma'am. Sorry.
No problem. Oh, you muted again. Setsedi?
I'm okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, that's good to know. Apologies, I muted myself. Can you just lower your hand, please, so that I can know that you are fine? Okay. We can give you the type of account, or we can give you also again a drop down arrow with options. Let me say, for example, inventory, trade and other receivables. Just like the polls that I launched, I gave you there a few options. That's how it will look when you write the exam. Oh, and sorry, attempt the assignments. We will give you different options and you have to choose which option is the correct option. And then you need to choose on which side it will be. For example, here we know it's on the debit side. So we chose sales from the drop down arrow. This you enter by yourself. Okay. Please read the instructions. It's very, very important. I think Ms. Rika Dry also mentioned that. It's very important. Okay. And then since it's not applicable on this side, you can choose not applicable. It can be one of the options. And you will put a 0 on this side because it's not applicable. The same on this side. If we just take this transaction that's highlighted in this bright green, okay, you will either have this transaction recorded on the credit side or on the debit side. If you want to record it or if you think it needs to be recorded on the debit side. Then you can choose on the debit side the bank account. If you know it should be recorded on the credit side, then you know you're going to choose not applicable and give an amount or write an amount or type an amount of 0 rather. Okay. That's just to give you an idea. Okay. Um, oh yes, the 5 March class have been a problem. The gentleman from the Western Cape who posted it or he uploads it on YouTube for us. So the problem there is that he is unfortunately not available. He was again the whole day in meetings, unfortunately, and he is busy with the editing thereof. I followed up, I promise you, from Friday morning and afternoon, this afternoon. So let's hope he gets some time to finish it tomorrow morning. And because I also want him to upload tonight's class. Then I will post it as an announcement with the links to the YouTube channels. If I had access, I would have posted it already, but unfortunately, I don't have access to it. So apologies for waiting for that recording. Okay. I want to ask you guys, we are past the time that we should have already closed. It's a pleasure, Tobeka. So I want to ask you guys if you can, by show of thumbs up, show to me if you want to continue, because remember now, we're now going to start the perpetual inventory system. This will be again another hour at least. So, or we can continue, or you can now go and listen to the recording and update yourself on how the periodic inventory system looks like. And then I can record another hour class on Wednesday, maybe after Miss Ace class. I think her class is from 6 to 7, maybe from 7 to 8. Or I can maybe, if she wants to swap around, I can just update you guys. Just please look at your announcements. Please look at it daily. I would even look at it in the morning and in the evening if I were you. But in any case, that's just me. But yeah, I can correspond with her and we can see if I can then continue after her class with the perpetual system. Okay, just that you guys just get some time to now grasp the concept of the periodic inventory system. Okay, I don't know what the thumbs down mean. Okay, it looks like so far a few said Wednesday. What do you guys think? Can you show me by thumbs up maybe if I see a lot of thumbs up? But you guys are quite a few. You are 270 now. Okay, it looks like stop here Wednesday. Hands is showing thumbs up, thumbs up. Okay. Okay, so I'll correspond with Miss Ice and then I'll schedule a class. I will just post an announcement and then schedule then a class for Wednesday. It will just be an hour class. We may even be done in 45 minutes if it goes well. And then we'll take it from there. Because with the perpetual, it's a bit less complicated. Although I like the periodic. But yes, then we can continue with that. I will then not upload tonight's slides because it contains the periodic and perpetual inventory system and then a short markup on cost price and then short evaluation methods, where I'm literally just mentioning the two and which one we are using. You can go ahead. You raised your hand. You can unmute. I'm horrible with pronouncing names, so please go ahead. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Almost. Okay, try again.
Yes, I'm saying, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
No, I was saying, can't lecturers or yourself help us and anyone else with more exercises, because this subject seems like a practice intensive subject.
Yes, this is quite an intense subject.
No,
And yes, okay. So basically, you can, unfortunately, we don't have additional exercises that you can use. The reason, therefore, is firstly, the module was redeveloped throughout 2024, 2025. So the module content changed a bit. And secondly, because this is a fully online module. So please take note. I know this is not what you want to hear, but this is how it works. Unfortunately, please mute. Thank you. Okay. The thing is that when you, let's say your assignment one opens and you decide to start it and attempt it, okay? When you click on start, the moment you do that, in the background, questions are compiled from a randomized question pools, a question bank. So each one of you will get your own unique assignment. Okay? We have large question pools. So you will get your own unique question. And then when you, let's say, use your second attempt, then you will get a new type of questions that are different. So basically, you can only use then those feedback, that feedback that you get from your first attempt and your second attempt. Okay? And also, what you can use is your self-assessment questions at the end of each learning unit, which is online, that you need to attempt at least once at the end of a lesson to unlock the next lesson. Okay. And then another option is like someone posted their YouTube link is to watch additional videos on YouTube. And also, I would also say recommend watching our videos in the lessons and then ask us questions. The dedicated mailbox for FIC 1503. I'm going to put here for you the address in the chat. Please do not send us a message via the chat in Teams. We don't know where to take and where to leave, because we're getting messages in our private email accounts, in the FIC mailbox, and in the chat. So we please ask you to not email us directly. We will not answer. Please send all inquiries regarding FIC 1503 to this email address that I posted. Is also mentioned online. If you read through your start here, information at the bottom. And then further you can go and look in your 101. We tell you what the recommended, not prescribed, the recommended textbook is. And you can go, there's a link, quite a few links that will link you to the library site, where you can go and ask if you can get online access to it, and or you can purchase it. But I would say rather get an online copy that you can access. Okay, so unfortunately, that's the only exercises that I can say that you can use. Is your self-assessments basically. I would look at the ones that you need to complete online at the end of each learning unit, because you will get feedback automatically and immediately, whereas the questions asked in your learning unit do not have the answers yet. Okay. Les, you can go ahead. You can unmute. Yes, you can unmute. Okay, let me mute everyone. Okay, I think okay, there's a connection problem or something. Okay, from the feedback I get, everyone is tired and not so positive and so on. So I think,
Ma'am,
hope, yes. Mm,
I
fresh.
wanted to ask before you
Mm.
go, that would I be left behind if I don't attend Miss Aziz's class and only attend your classes?
No, but remember now, unfortunately, our topics is the same, but it's presented differently. Like we are trying to get ahead of time so that you guys can at least have classes of all the relevant learning units that is involved or that's applicable for the assignments. But now it's the same, but just remember that it will either be me or Prof. Annelien van Rooyen, whose classes is very, very good as well, or Miss Ace, who will be presenting this coming Wednesday, the depreciation class. So you're welcome. I will present more the trust accounting from Learning Unit 6 onwards. But I'll be in the background. So if there's any questions, you guys are welcome to ask Prof. Annelien or Miss Ace. But otherwise, I'll answer the chat in the background as well.
As long as I'm not going to be left behind, then I'm fine with you, ma'am, and the
No,
other lecture. With Aziza,
no,
I get so confused and they ask a lot of questions and everyone is speaking at the same time. It's very
yes,
confusing for a person who's never done accounting before.
yes, I can
So thank you.
imagine. No, it's a pleasure. Now, I can imagine that. I can just say one thing. There's a problem with Miss Fortuin, Aziza Fortuin's class, meaning that she doesn't have the correct login details so that she can use her normal MyUnisa, not MyUnisa, apologies, Unisa account. Okay? So being the reason why she can unfortunately not present the classes as she would like. So that's why it's a bit of chaos and so forth. Because she is the only person in the class. There's no one else in the class, so no one can check the chat or look at the hands that raised or so on. But I'm just trying to just give a background regarding the problem she has. So she's using her husband's Teams account currently, because she also needs a renewed license for Teams. So there's a lot of problems there that will be resolved as soon as possible. So, but now you are still welcome. Remember, you can always listen to her recordings later, if you want to see maybe if she, how can I say, explained a topic differently and in a better way. And the same with our classes, it will also be recorded. But let's hope now, tomorrow, the gentleman is available to upload the class on the 5th of March and then this class. And like I said, then we will schedule for Wednesday a class, and I will then upload the presentations with the recording for you. So, okay, everyone, I hope I didn't confuse you too much. And yes, that you will at least, if you look at the recording with all my mistakes, um, that you will learn something, okay? And that, yeah, that it makes sense later on for you. But like I said, the first thing is know debit and credit. Know which account is an asset, an expense, and income. Know where it will increase and decrease. And then, of course, unfortunately, you need to um, learn the steps. For especially here at the beginning now, it's best to learn the steps. But when you have a transaction, you can do it straight away. But then when it comes to the closing transfers, like we did now in the periodic inventory system, there's now a few steps you unfortunately will need to know. But I must stop talking now. We're already almost 8 o'clock. Thank you all for joining, and especially I want to thank Miss Anine Ace, the other lecturer, that she was here the whole time, that she managed everything. Before I forget, I want to please ask everyone, it's for us to also learn from our mistakes. If you could please just quickly, or if you even left the meeting or class rather, if you can please complete the evaluation form, I would really appreciate it a lot. I hope the polls make it more interactive for you guys. So yes, thank you guys and have a blessed evening further. And don't be negative. We will help you through this module the best we can. And yeah, just stay positive and remember, unfortunately, this module is practice, practice, practice. I know it's difficult, but don't worry. Okay, have a blessed evening, as I said, and everyone, please take care. Goodbye.